Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Temi and I will be drawing Princess Jasmine from Aladdin today. So I recently saw Aladdin, and by recently I mean like 3 weeks ago, but I saw it and I thought it was amazing. Like, I just enjoyed it so much that I was like, okay, you know what, I need to do this drawing. And so I found this photo of Naomi Scott as Princess Jasmine and I really just had to. As with any drawing that I do, I start with the eyes. So I normally just use colour and pencils only for the eyes. I sometimes use markers and like fine liners for the eyebrows and the eyelashes, but for the most part it's just done in colour and pencils. So I've decided to do a voiceover for this video so that you can get an idea of kind of what was going through my head and why I did different things that I've done. So I will talk about the materials I'm using and the techniques, if any, that I'm using. But the materials will always be listed in the description box below, so please do check that out. As you can see, the marker that I used didn't dry properly, so it kind of smudged it and I tried to layer it to go over it. It's funny because I actually got a question from one of my friends yesterday about what I do if I make a mistake on a drawing, and it's literally just layering and layering. So at this point I'm using Pastels as my base, and I explained this in the video, but I guess it's easier to see me doing it. So it's kind of like a pressed powder, and you can apply it like you would paint in the way that you can layer and you can mix colours. Most of the colours I have are primary colours except a few browns, so it really relies on a lot of understanding of colour theory and mixing of the colours. Then I spray it with a hairspray. That's what I use as my fixative, and then I use colour and pencils on top of it, as you can see here. Now this bit took a lot of layering because I actually did not use a blender at all. So at this point the pencils that I use are Caran Luminance pencils and Faber Castell Polychromos for the most part. I do use some Prismacolors as well, but those are the two I mainly use. And I found that I had to do a lot of layering to be able to blend out the Luminance pencils, which is very different to using Faber Castells on their own or with the Prismacolors, because with the Faber Castells you can blend them using a Derwent blender, but with the Caran it kind of comes out looking a little bit ashy, so it ended up needing a lot of layering and yeah, just layering to get it to blend. At this point, I had done the hair. I mostly use colour and pencils for everything, but I also use markers for things like the hair when it comes to like shading large areas. Again, the pan pastel would have been the base layer, then the colour and pencils, and then a mixture of layering with the markers and more pencils, I guess. Again, the same exact technique for every single part of this drawing. Pan pastel was the layer for this veil cloth. And then colour and pencils on top of that. Mostly Caran Luminance pencils at this point. Generally, I have a lot of difficulty drawing gold, so I was kind of looking at the crown like, I'm not really sure how I'm going to draw this, but I ended up using a lot of browns, which I guess is like the underlayer of the gold when it's not shiny. And then I used my white pen, which was, I think it's a Sakura jelly roll. I'll have to confirm that. But yeah, it will be in the description box anyway. That's the white pen that I use for all the shine. And I'm not really happy with how the crown turned out, but I'm going to need to practice drawing you know, shiny metals like gold and silver and bronze. Again, the pan pastel layer comes down first for every section of the drawing that I do, and it's always sprayed with a fixative, which is hairspray, as I mentioned, and then the colouring pencils go over it. So really, in my head, this whole technique is very easy and very straightforward, but I guess if you haven't seen it before, then you might be wondering. I don't actually enjoy drawing material or drawing clothes, but I do find that it somehow just ends up looking quite good, for the fact that usually at that point I'm kind of tired of the drawing, I'm just trying to get it done. I usually give myself very strict deadlines, even if it might not look like it from Instagram, but I usually give myself very strict deadlines, and I'm usually at the point where I just need to finish the drawing by the time that I'm doing the material. So I'm usually quite impressed with how it turns out, for the fact that it's usually just always rushed. The necklace at this point was just scribbled on. It was just, I used some markers to highlight some dead bits, and yes, this is the drawing. I really hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you would like to see next, who you would like to see me draw in the comments. And yes, thank you so much for watching. Here is the completed final Princess Jasmine from Aladdin.